Mr. Andrae Long is from the Citizen Action Pack. Russ, he can be the city council person. And without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Andrae Long.
Thank you. Stop clapping. My name is Andrae Long, and I'm going to try to make this real short. Last time I kind of got a little bit verbose, and so I'm working on just keeping it short. I just want to tell you why it is I feel the need to fight against this issue. And it starts when I went to week-long community organizer training in Columbus and learned how governments are supposed to work and how people are supposed to be able to get help from the government. And so when I came back here, I went to my first block watch meeting, and at this meeting, the people had asked their councilman to come to help the children get some swings. To make a long story short, there were no swings in the neighborhood for the children to play on, and the parents felt that since the park is right across the street, if we could just get about $4,000 from the city, we could put some swings up, and we could watch our kids play and be safe, as opposed to going to a more dangerous neighborhood. And I sat there all excited, because this is my first time getting the chance to see what it looks like when a councilman interacts with his people, other than Brother Russ, Neal, who's always at meetings everywhere I go. But other than him, this is the first time I got to see a councilman interact with his people. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm all excited to see, okay, what does this look like? How does it look when citizens, I learned about it a week long, but now I get to see it. And my heart dropped to my stomach, because the councilman opened his mouth and said, you keep asking me about these swings. I already told you, we're not putting no money into these small parks. And then one of the community leaders said, but the taxpayers are saying they want swings. And the councilman said, look, you can come and speak at City Hall if you want to. We already decided we're not putting no money into these small parks. And because I had just went to week-long community organizer training, I realized that, that just wasn't quite right. And I left there very, very, very disturbed, especially because I myself had voted for this individual. And I knew that when I voted for him, he was the only name on the ballot. And so I started thinking about accountability and the fact that you can't hold people accountable if nobody's running against them. And so I made up my mind right then and there that this definitely wasn't right, and I was going to do something to try to get this individual out of office. And I was encouraged by the fact that the way our system works is we get to vote on these people every 2 years. And so I said, okay, this go around, I'm going to do something to try to fix this. And so I went down to the next city council meeting to do a little bit of investigation. And when I went in there, I saw that on the agenda they had 4-year terms. And when I saw this, I got very disturbed, because what I thought to myself is, I'm encouraged by the fact that we can get this guy out every 2 years. But what if these poor people had to deal with this for 4 years before they could do anything about it? And then I heard several of the councilmen speaking, saying that the language was illegal. They had put 2 different issues on one ballot. They weren't allowed to do that. And I was very, very, very disturbed, and I decided right then I needed to do something against it. And then they had called me back into their back quarters, and they thought I was coming, because I immediately began to go to City Hall and speak out every Monday, saying how I felt and how wrong this was. And so they called me back to try to talk to me, and they thought I was there on some ulterior motives. And after the end of the meeting, when we were all walking out, and they said, okay, so what's this really about? And I told him, this is not about your ward. He thought I was making a show because I wanted to run against him. I said, it's not about Ward 5, it's about issue 3. And his response was, you know what my view on issue 3 is? Why should anybody get to run from a safe seat? That was his view. And so that let me know that that's what this is really all about. Just to let you know, in 1922, when our city's charter was founded, the people that developed the charter, they realized that you need to have something in place in case the mayor gets out of hand. Something to keep him in check. And so what we'll do is we'll stagger the councilman at large elections, so that if the mayor's out of hand, the councilman at large could challenge the mayor from a safe seat. And so it just so happened that last year we had a councilman at large challenge the mayor from a safe seat. And if this issue passes, they're going to do away with this 90-year tradition. And from this point forward, if a councilman at large wants to challenge the mayor, they have to give up their seat in order to do it. And this is going to completely erase something that's in place to keep a check and balance in a local government that I really feel has no check and balance at this point in time. So when I realized that, it's not just a coincidence that if this passes, Mike Williams can't run for mayor again without giving up his seat. When When they pulled me in the back office, the comments was, why should anybody get to run from a safe seat? But then when they get up to tell the people what's really going on, they say it's about saving money. And Bruce Kilby crunched some numbers, and what he found was that the savings was actually 0.0009% of the budget. So they're saving less than 1/100 of 1%, which the Beacon came out with an article yesterday saying that although it is some savings there, it is not worth what it will cost us in the end. And so I have been down there, I've been fighting, speaking out every Monday. I've been blackballed in the city, I've been threatened by some of them. I've had executive directors that wanted to hire me later come and say, if we hire you, we'll lose our city funding, because I've been speaking out on the issue. And so I tend to continue speaking out because it looks like we're starting to gain some traction. And I invite all of you to come out, because this Monday, what I do when I speak out is I'm going to bring in the article and read it to them, just in case they didn't get a chance to see it in the paper themselves. And I'd love to have you all out there with us. And another thing we're going to do is, you all got some flyers that says some of the different reasons why I believe that they want 4-year terms. The first one is to protect the mayor from a challenge. I explained that. The second one is to protect their regime. They only had 4 of the ward seats challenged last time around. I believe that they all need to be challenged. It's good for government. But out of the 4 that got challenged, 3 of them lost. And so you have this new group of community leaders emerging, and it seems like they're trying to stop the transition of power. That's what I believe. And then, as all of you may or may not know, 15 years ago, the government told our city, your sewers are messed up, you need to fix them. The city chose to do absolutely nothing about it. And so last year, the government sued the city of Akron and said, you must fix the sewers. And so now, we have to fix the sewers, but we're $1 billion in debt. So we can't take out any more debt to fix the sewers. So what are we going to do? The only thing we can think of is to pass the bill over to you, the consumer, in the form of what they're estimating to be $300 water bills. Okay? And so when that happens, and as this continues to go up, they are going to want to be insulated from the people as much as possible, I believe, which is what 4-year terms would do. So again, I invite all of you to come out and join me as I reread the article to them. Matter of fact, some of you might want to get up there and read it after me. Just make sure that they got it. I might have missed a word. But other than that, another thing we need you to do is to help us volunteer on election day. We want to have these flyers at all of the polling locations to hand people before they walk in so they can see what's really happening on issue 3. So if any of you are interested in doing that, helping to volunteer and just stand out there and pass out flyers, let us know. Let us get your phone number. We'll contact you, see whichever polling site you want to go to, and we'll try to make sure that somebody is everywhere. Thank you. Appreciate you for coming.